I'm pretty much just counting down the moments until my family gets home, and they walk past and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? I didn't tell any of them I was gonna be filming right now, but everybody was gone, so I thought it was like the perfect opportunity. This entire month, I'm probably gonna have like the most aesthetically pleasing backgrounds ever because I can record wherever I want in my dad's house. Right now I'm in the office, which is like disconnected from the house, so I'm hoping that nobody comes in here. I have family from out of town staying here too, and I just don't really think most people understand YouTube. When they ask me what I do and I have to explain it to them, they're always like, what are you talking about? So we're just gonna hope nobody comes home and nobody walks past these windows and they see me talking to a giant camera, because I still have my new camera and she's fucking huge. I'm still not used to it yet. But anyways, I have another scary story for you guys. I actually wasn't planning on filming a scary story right now, but I had no idea what else to film. So I was just sitting here scrolling through No Sleep and I found a story that sounded really interesting, so we're gonna read it. It looks a little bit shorter than the stories I would normally read, but I don't think it's that short. I can never really tell. I like look at the page and I'm like, I don't know how long this is gonna be. For those of you who didn't watch my last video, I'm actually in Arizona for an entire month. My filming situation is going to be a little bit interesting. I'm going to try to keep my schedule, but I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard right now, especially because I did just get here and I want to spend as much time with my family and my friends as possible because I haven't seen them in so fucking long. Like, it's been months since I've seen some of my friends and my nieces, and I don't know. I just want to spend as much time with them as I can. Also, sorry the air conditioning is gonna go on and off. I really didn't think about that. Really hot here. I thought it was gonna be cold. It's not cold. I'm rambling. I keep looking behind me because if you can tell, okay, I'm gonna try to show you. There's like a little area out there where you can like sit down, and my whole family likes to sit out here because it's really nice. And the entrance to the kitchen and the living room is like on the opposite side of that little courtyard. And so I'm just waiting for somebody to walk by the windows or somebody to like come and sit down. I'm looking at the viewfinder. I need to get my life together. Let's get started. I'm also sitting in a desk, which I never sit in desks. And this is why. This is why I sit on the floor, because I can't sit still for the life of me right now. I keep like putting my legs all over the place, like I'm putting my leg on the desk, which I probably shouldn't do because it's not mine. But I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess. As per usual, I will have the author and the story linked down below, so if you guys want to read along with me, or if you want to read it and not listen to me, you can do that. But this story is called The Apartment Next to Me is Supposed to Be Empty. It's not. I moved into my apartment complex 2 months ago. I started hearing things a week later. It was subtle at first. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I'd wake up to a faint scratching sound from somewhere behind the walls. I thought it could be mice or rats. I have lived through enough shitty one-bedroom apartments in Manhattan to recognize the signs. Small little turds on the floor, tiny holes in the plaster, and unending scratching that sounds like 1,000 little feet marching to the beat of my headache. My symptoms fit the bill. It had to be a mouse. And so I put out traps. I invested in a little steel bowl. The internet says the best way to catch a rat is peanut butter. I slathered spoonfuls of the stuff all over a fresh tomcat trap, Amazon's best. I went to bed with the expectation that a fat or rodent would be dead in my living room by the following morning. I laid awake, eagerly awaiting their demise, but it rained a lot that night. After I turned off the TV, I tried to listen for the sounds of my furry friends falling for the bait, but the storm overtook almost every second. Cracks of thunder shook the glassware on my kitchen counter. Water got inside through the cracks and spaces between the window's framing. I had to put a towel down. The dripping started to annoy me more than the rats ever did in the first place. But somewhere, underneath it all, I heard something else. Something a lot more frightening than the rats. A voice whispering, "Help me." I never really believed in the paranormal. I told people that a lot. I never saw signs or spirits like everybody else. Part of my subconscious felt like maybe this was my comeuppance. The ghosts on the street heard me talking shit and now they were going to come for me. Maybe just to show me who's boss, so to speak. And I had nothing for protection, nobody to verify my experiences. I lived alone in the middle of a lightly occupied skyrise. A demon or poltergeist could fuck with me all they wanted. And so I pulled the sheets up to my chin, while the scratching started to overtake the storm, along with my rationality. The constant repetition of "help me" floated further throughout the walls. She started to get louder, more urgent. My fear-paralyzed mind told me that she was getting closer. I knew that was impossible, but I couldn't take it anymore. I got out of bed and marched out of my apartment, nearly stepping on the unoccupied rat trap myself. The building kept a guard on desk duty throughout the night. He needed to know about the voice. I hopped in the elevator with sweatpants and no socks. When it opened on the ground level, a surprised security guard waited for me behind the desk. "Sir, are you okay? Can you check if the apartment next to me is occupied?" The tall Hispanic man furrowed his brow worriedly as he eyed my evening wear with distaste. He wore an official-looking blue-button shirt with black slacks and a radio clip to his belt. "We really should not divulge. Somebody's been screaming 'help me' all night. I think they're in trouble, but I've never seen anybody go in there before." The man looked worried as he pounded into the small laptop placed on the desk. "Okay, what apartment number?" 522. "We haven't rented many units up there since we took over." That's what I said. Yep, 522 and 524 are empty. You have one other tenant at the other end of your floor. Maybe you heard his television. The walls here are very thin, sir, and we're actively working on the rodent issue. I think we need to call the police. The man flashed a smile that made goosebumps on my skin slide up like candy dots, like he was prepared for the accusation, like he knew something that I didn't. His cool expression placed onto such ordinary features made my stomach turn uncomfortably. Like I said, the apartment is empty. Would you like to go and see for yourself? I would. My willing response definitely took him back. He punched again at the laptop nervously. I had no idea what he was typing. After a minute's hesitation, he walked past me towards the elevator. Let's go, 522 first. I've got the key. I followed the guard into the elevator. Something about his demeanor continued to make me cautious. He seemed confident, excited even. At the time, I chalked up his odd behavior to over-interest in the mystery before us. It's possible some kids broke in, but I doubt it. These locks are pretty secure. I still think you heard a neighbor. I nodded wordlessly. When the doors opened up again, we marched together down the hall towards apartment 522. I waited patiently while he opened the lock and beckoned me inside. It was empty. Our voices echoed across the recently finished floors and furnitureless void into the studio apartment. I paced around and checked the nooks and crannies. I waited a couple minutes and listened for the voice. I even called out to it, but nobody answered. The only sound I heard were the steady ricochets of raindrops against the windowsills. Satisfied? We still have 524. My new friend started to look a little less confident. Look, it's late and somebody needs to watch the desk. Do we need to do this now? I know what I heard. He stared at me and studied my demeanor for a moment. I shifted awkwardly and tried to appear intimidating. Okay. The guard once again flashed a friendly smile as he gestured me into the hallway and locked up behind us. We passed my own apartment on the way towards 524. I thought about going inside and locking the door. Something about the situation made me squirm, but I didn't. My name is Michael, by the way. What's your name? Matt. Well, Matt, I'm sorry we have to meet under these circumstances. I nodded and waited while Michael opened up the door. His casual attitude continued to make me uncomfortable. 524 wasn't empty. Boxes upon boxes were stacked on the floor with neat little labels on each. Spare kitchen chairs made the studio tough to navigate. Once again, Michael waited by the door while I navigated the junk and tried to investigate the other rooms. The small corner kitchen contained the usual boilerplate electronics. The drawers appeared untouched and empty. A thin line of dust formed over the countertops. I moved on to the bathroom and found a recently renovated shower head sparkling against a fresh paint job. I started to get jealous and let my guard down a bit. This place looked nicer than my own. I bet they'd be renting it out soon. I was prepared to write the entire thing off as an odd experience before a voice spoke to me inside the bathroom. Help me. It was closer this time, in the same room. I nearly jumped out of my skin, but tried to keep my cool around Michael, who was still outside creeping in the hallway. There was a closet in the bathroom. I opened it. Sitting inside was a teenage girl. She wasn't wearing any clothes. She pushed her knees up to her shoulders and linked her feet together in a sad attempt to remain modest. Sweat poured down her brow. It caused her pretty brown hair to become matted and tangled on her forehead. I covered her mouth and mine after she whispered again, "It's him. He did this." Footsteps approached from the hallway. I raised a finger as if to tell her to wait and closed the door in the poor girl's face. Then I rushed over to the toilet and flushed the handle. The footsteps stopped. "Everything all right in there?" Yeah, sorry, just had to tinkle. 3 miles nice. Gotta get you guys to update my apartment." I opened the door and was immediately greeted by a very suspicious looking guard. "You know, I've got a leaky window frame. Who can I talk to about that?" Michael stared at me for about 30 seconds. At first he looked angry, then he looked confused. Finally, the suspicion faded from his wrinkled features. Property owner, not me. I laughed awkwardly and pushed past him. I walked out into the hallway in a rush, never bothering to look behind my shoulder as Michael followed anxiously after. I could hear him locking the door to 524 as I jetted towards my own apartment. "You don't want to check anywhere else?" I called out something back. I don't remember what. The adrenaline coursed through my veins so quickly that my futile attempts at being casual dissipated the moment I got to my door. I fumbled for the keys in my sweatpant pocket. I clacked them awkwardly against the metal lock. Finally, they found the groove and the door handle turned willingly against my hand. "Anything else I can do for you tonight?" Michael had caught up to me. He looked suspicious again. I could sense he might try to stop me. I had to come up with something. "Sorry, man, that last trip to the bathroom didn't cut it. Too much chili last night. Gotta go." Michael gawked over my shoulder as I opened the door and slammed it in his face. I tried to wait a few seconds before applying the chain lock. I waited for his footsteps to fade away first. I didn't want to spook him. Only then I released my hand from the handle and collapsed to the floor. The first responders arrived about 10 minutes later. I have to commend them for the speed. Part of me worried that Michael would try to run. Part of me worried he would go back for the girl. Part of me worried he would come after me. He didn't. Police rescued the girl from the bathroom closet. Her name was Molly. She was 16 years old. She wasn't the only one. 7 other women were rescued from empty apartments throughout the complex. Each identified Michael as their abductor. Apparently he kept them drugged and locked inside various rooms inside the building. He returned to visit them every night. Some were tortured, some abused. One was already dead. Holy shit. Okay, that was a really short story, but honestly, I think it was worth it. I always assume with these titles it's gonna be something paranormal. I'm not really sure why. This storyline is so creative to me. The concept of using an empty apartment building, I don't know. And it's like a horrible, horrible thing, but it's a very creative idea. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other stories you want me to read, please send them to me. I will have my email written down below. If they're Reddit scary stories, you can send them to Twitter and Instagram too. I don't really care where you send them, just send them to me. I'll end up finding them somewhere. Sorry this is a shorter video, but like I said, I just haven't really had much time to film right now. This is like the only time I have, and I have to leave to go stream soon. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I'm pleasantly surprised that nobody's home yet. I have the whole house to myself. It's fantastic. If you guys want to see my dogs, I could actually, it's a lot of effort to bring you in there because I have to go all the way inside. I'll bring in my dogs. Let's go. I think she's camera shy, honestly. She doesn't like being on camera. Oh, maybe today she's changing her mind. Hi, Kennedy. Hello. She's the weirdest dog in the entire world, I swear. She's so strange. Kennedy. Kennedy.